US-China trade war has entered a new phase, and it's no longer about tariffs, it's about control. Control over materials that power everything from iPhones to fighter jets. Here's how this move by China will help it win the trade war. Less than a year into Donald Trump's first trade war with China, Chinese President Xi Jinping made a calculated move. He visited a quiet factory in Guangzhou, an industrial city in southeast China. In 2019, touring its halls lined with grey metal blocks, Xi declared, and I quote, "Rare earths are a vital strategic resource." End quote. That moment wasn't just symbolic, it was a signal. Rare earths are 17 elements found in many countries, even in the US. They're more abundant than gold, but they're hard to extract. They're costly and they're bad for the environment. Despite having the raw materials, most countries rely on China. According to the International Energy Agency, China mines 61% of global rare earths, but more crucially, it processes 92% of the world's supply. That's the power play, because processing, not mining, is the real chokehold. On April 4th, Beijing retaliated. This came after Trump imposed a fresh 34% tariff on Chinese goods. China slapped export restrictions on 7 rare earth minerals, plus products made from them like magnets. From now, all companies need government permission to export these. On Tuesday, Trump hit back. He ordered a probe into possible tariffs on critical minerals, a broader category that includes rare earths. In his executive order, Trump said the dependence of the United States on imports and the vulnerability of our supply chains raises the potential for risks to national security, defense readiness, price stability, and economic prosperity and resilience. The impact has been immediate. Shipments of rare earth magnets to at least 5 American and European companies have been halted in China, and this goes beyond raw materials. China's rules cover alloys and products with even tiny amounts of rare earths. Thomas Krumer, director at Ginger International in Singapore, said a lot of exports now fall under this licensing system. He warned of delays as companies navigate the new red tape. China's rare earth dominance didn't happen overnight. The extraction began in the 1950s, but it wasn't until the late 1970s that the industry really took off. Beijing mixed low labor costs and weak environmental rules with imported foreign tech. Stan Trout, founder of Spontaneous Materials, said much of the technology they brought in was developed here in the US or in Japan or in Europe. Over time, he adds, I'm sure they've made improvements to it. By 1990s, China grabs the strategic edge. During a 1992 visit to Inner Mongolia, Deng Xiaoping famously said, while there is oil in the Middle East, China has rare earths. Today, that vision is reality. Labor costs have risen in China, but its grip remains firm. Why? Because China invested heavily in research, tech, and automation, and it kept refining its capabilities. There were American companies in the rare earth magnet business, but they couldn't compete with cheaper Chinese options. Between 2020 and 2023, the US imported 70% of its rare earths from China. That's from the US Geological Survey. Now the US is scrambling to rebuild. 3 American rare earth companies told CNN they are expanding capacity. They're also sourcing from allies, but industry experts warn this will take years. The rare earth race is on, and for now, China seems to be ahead.